Today we're going to be presenting on polarity, and we will be explaining more about that in the next few slides.
First of all, what is polarity? So polarity is when something has two opposite sides, and this can mean different charges like in magnets. And you've probably heard of the saying opposites attract. And what that means is a positive charge and negative charge will attract each other. As you can see in the picture, the South Pole attracts the North Pole. And another point is like repels. So positive and positive or negative and negative results in the molecules pushing each other away.
Polar and non-polar molecules. Polar molecules are attracted to other polar molecules. You can think about it like the magnets. There's a positive side and a negative side. And when you put them together, they attract. Non-polar molecules are when the molecules don't have a charge. Think about it like an eraser. They don't have a positive or negative side. And when you put them together, they won't attract. Also, polar and non-polar molecules do not mix.
So this activity investigates how materials interact. So milk is an example of a nonpolar molecule. Food coloring helps us see the reaction, and soap molecules have one polar side and one nonpolar side. And the polar sides of the soap want to stick together, but the nonpolar ends are in the way, so they're pushed away. But since it's on the same molecule, the polar end is pushed away too. And the polar end then tries to go back to the other polar ends, but the cycle repeats.
Now, can you guys gather the plate and the milk?
Yeah, we're just gonna set up the station real quick for them. Okay, we have the materials.
So the first step you want to do is to pour the milk and cover enough of the container to fill the bottom.
Okay, we're done with that step.
If you guys are ready, all we're going to do is add some color, and then so you're just going to put a few drops of food coloring into the center.
All right, our food coloring's done.
Now take a clean cotton swab and cover the tip with dish soap. And before you dip the cotton swab into the plate, we want you guys to make a hypothesis or an educated guess for what's going to happen. Will it be different from the last step?
You think the colors are gonna mix? Yes or no? You guys have to let them know. You have to be louder than that. They can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yes to what?
Yeah, it can mix because I see it.
All right, only Christian has a guess. And yes, the rest of you don't have a guess?
Test your prediction. This is right. So for step 5, we're going to actually test it out. So put the tip of the cotton swab in the cotton swab with the dish soap into the middle of the milk and the dye, and you're just supposed to put it there. Don't move it around, and you can see what happens with it. You can see if it swirls or if it mixes or if it just stays the same.
Christian. It mixed. That's your observation?
Yes.
All right, so were our observations that the colors mixed?
So a recap of our experiment on polarity. Some objects are made of polar things and others are made out of nonpolar things. Polar means charged and nonpolar means it doesn't have a charge. And opposite charges attract. Attract means to come together, and like charges repel or push away. And the milk is made out of nonpolar molecules. The soap is polar, so when they touch the liquid, it moves a lot. Our next section is about designing a fun plant experiment in a flying rocket. And this is when rocketry meets biology. So first of all, the Mimosa pudica plant is nicknamed Touch Me Not plant. And as you can see in the picture, once the mimosa plant gets touched, its leaves actually close rapidly. And that's because it's necessary for self-defense, and it happens due to changes in pressure within its cells. We're currently designing a fun plant experiment to observe Mimosa pudica plants in a flying rocket. And a TARC rocket consists of the outside structure and the inside structure. So for the outside structure, we have the nose cone, which is the upper part, and that's used for aerodynamic purposes. Then we have the upper body tube, and inside the upper body tube, we have the payload. And usually the payload consists of one egg and one altimeter. And an altimeter is something that can measure the height of a rocket. And then we have the lower body tube, and attached to the lower body tube, we have usually 3 or 4 fins. And after that, we have the motor containment. For this experiment, our question that we're trying to investigate is, how do forces and altitude affect Mimosa pudica plants? And to conduct this experiment and to make it accurate, we have 3 Mimosa pudica plants inside the rocket and 3 on the ground level. And cameras are used to document the entire process of the opening and closing behavior of the plant's leaves. And lights are installed to ensure that each plant receives the same amount of light. And this experiment was designed as one of the 60 rockets with different payloads designed by students in the NASA Student Launch Program for this year. And this bullet point is very important. It's going to be a question later on. So NASA stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It was started on October 1st of 1958, and NASA is in charge of the US science and technology that has to do with airplanes or space, and you guys can explore the link for more information. Okay guys, so here's a quick quiz. What's the scientific name of the plant Touch Me Not? Does anyone know? So the answer is Mimosa pudica plant. And for our next question, what's the name of the rocket part that can carry the plant?
You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. Outer space.
Okay, it's okay if you guys don't know. This one is actually the payload, and the payload is part of the upper body tube. So the payload is where the plants are placed. And the next question is, what does NASA stand for?
Can you guys take a guess if you don't remember?
It's on the screen.
Outer space.
Outer space. Outer space. Outer space.
Question.
So outer space is very close. NASA is in charge of exploration outside of space, but NASA stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
All right, thank you guys. You guys did so well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.